Good evening and welcome once again to another Russie's Brosis Empowerment Night. Last week we had part one, and this week we are into part two of our interview with the president of the Russie's Brosis Foundation. It is my pleasure, it is my privilege to welcome each and every one of you who have joined us tonight. And this promises to be another inspiring and motivating evening as we pick the brain of none other than our president, Mr. Troy Malcolm. Mr. Malcolm, how are you doing?
Pretty good, Mr. D. Thanks for the introduction. And first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to all the viewers around the world. But on a sad note, I must convey our deepest condolences to the families who have lost a loved one in that terrible mass shooting in Texas today. So I just want to start the program by saying we send out our deepest condolences to the families.
Thank you, thank you. Well spoken. It is a painful time in this nation and in the world. And it's hard, but I'm so glad that within Russie's Brosis there is a spark of hope, a spark of light that Brosis provides. And we truly believe that as a result of the programming that the foundation has created, that there is encouragement that is being put out into the communities all across the globe. And we are hoping that through the inspiration that we provide and the modeling that we give, that our youth will have hope for a better tomorrow. So on that note, I just want to thank each and everyone who has been supporting the Russie's Brosis Foundation. And I want to thank you, Mr. President, for the amazing effort and sacrifice that you have made to keep this foundation moving forward. And already we have fruits from the planting that has already been established. And I do believe that there are many to come. So as we prepare to get into some other aspects of your journey, a little bird tells me or reminded me that there's something big happening this weekend. So just to kick this thing off, I just want to just briefly mention something that is happening this weekend on May 28th. Can you tell us what's going on May 28th?
Yes, for the viewers or in the tri-state area, and for those who are flying in, yes, we have our second annual Blue and White event, Bronx, New York, 3458 Boiler Avenue. And I must say, Mr. D, we have a special, as I said, there are times you find some special person that comes in your life or into the foundation life. And one of them is Miss Sharon Rosie Clark. This
Yes.
person, she gave us the venue last year.
Yes.
And she actually reached out again, and we reached out to her again, and without hesitation, she put her best foot forward by ensuring that the venue is fit and ready. And the other person that's also working with her is also Mr. Mervyn James. So both of them, because I just leave the venue like about an hour ago, and
Yes.
they were working since 8 o'clock just to get the venue right. So
Wow. Wow.
Miss Sharon Rosie Clark and Mervyn, listen, Brosis cannot pay you enough for the sacrifice that both of you have done to ensure that we have a venue to launch this Blue and White event.
Wow. I'm a firm believer that when positive things are being done, people will come on board to support. And last year, it was an amazing event, and the site was phenomenal. The theme that was created and the way the space was utilized was just amazing. So I know that once you have Miss Clark on the job, and then Mr. James putting his hand on that, I know it's going to be a big thing, because Last year was the start. This year is going to be another level. And I do believe that it's going to turn up. Especially, even though it rained last year, it still turned up. I can only imagine what's going to happen if there's no rain this year. And even if there's rain, it's going to be a firehouse experience. It's going to be a big experience anyway. Either way you cut it. But if the weather cooperates, it's going to be up top to another level. I'm excited.
No, if it rains, Mr. D, we just do like the Trinidadians do. Just bring your raincoat and we just have a wonderful time. But
of course,
in essence of raising funds for Russell's High School.
When you talk about the spirit that keeps this foundation moving, do you know that Lloyd Stewart Bagger Lee checking in from London? Yes, yeah. Already. I'm telling you, this is no joke. Then we have Mrs. Malcolm checking in, Karen Malcolm checking in. Then we have Norwin from Florida checking in. Then Steve Edwards. Steve Edwards said, thanks, coach, for sending condolences to all the families in Texas. Sad vibes, prayers, coach, respect and love. Thanks for creating this platform. Yes, for real. Mrs. Malcolm, good evening all. Looking forward to an amazing and interesting part 2. Absolutely, it will be amazing and it's going to be interesting. So for those who did not get it, just want to reemphasize, Saturday, May 28th is the second
annual
experience, and it's the second annual event of the Rusea's Brosis Foundation. We'll be having our blue and white affair. You can't miss it. It's in the Bronx, New York, at Bulla Avenue. You cannot miss it. Make sure you're there. Make sure you're ready for action because it's going to be big. So, Mr. President, last week we spent some time looking at your journey from childhood up to a certain level. And we focus more on your athletic and coaching experience. And that was tremendous. That was absolutely tremendous. We did learn a few things that many of us did not know. Like we did not know that you know anything about the S90 skank. So if you fly like lightning, you'll crash like thunder. So we say, right? Big youth have that set up big time, big youth. Yes. But this week, we're going to take our viewers and our students at Rusea's and other parts of the world into how someone who loved music and loved sports so much was able to use that experience and transition into a corporate journey. Because not everyone is able to do that, but you did. And that's why in my book, you're a very successful person, very successful professional. And I applaud you that you didn't stay stuck in one vibe, but you master sports. And then you transition from sports and took those skills and took them into corporate America, and you have done extremely well. So that's where the journey is going to take us. So I'm going to ask you to start off. When did you come to live in the United States of America?
I came, as I said before last week, who have missed last week's interview. I migrated from Jamaica, January 1990, immediately after we won the Dakota Cup and Ulster Sheep final.
So you came to New York to celebrate the victory.
Yes, something like that. But it was a bittersweet moment because you're leaving a lot of, well, all my family members were here because actually every one of them migrated to the US in 1986. So I was the only sibling that was there.
Oh.
I was on my own along with my other cousin, Michael Kerr, but he then moved to Kingston. He was working at JBC at the time. So it was just both of us that was there. So I was basically by myself in that house by myself.
I did not know that Greg came before you.
Yeah.
And your sisters came before you.
Every single person, every single one of my family members.
Did not know.
Yeah.
Okay. Lloyd Campbell checking in, blessed. Okay. And Light Campbell again said, blessed love, Brosis family. Yeah, one love. Vernica Barrett V. Good evening, everyone, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Or she might be from New York, you never know.
Yeah.
You know, she's one of those who have multiple locations. You can't trace her. So B, nice to see you in the house. Beautiful. So you came 1990 in Jamaica. You were like a rock star. Just won the DaCosta Cup, just won the Oliver Shield, and you came to New York. You did mention that you were being called from Jamaica to return home. That tug of war, what was that like for you?
All right, before I answer your question, I received a lot of texts from last week because Greg had asked a very important question or critical
Yes.
question in regards to Kenneth Gina Blacks.
Yes.
Yes, and I know the audience wanted a feedback in regards to Kenneth Gina Blacks and the 1983 Duckers Cup final that we lost to Cornwall College. Now,
Okay.
you asked the question, what transpired after we lost the Duckers Cup final? Because was the team split in regards to Gina missing the penalty, and how was the reaction between us as teammates and the outside world? I think it was a combination of both, because actually a lot of people, on the outside who do not know knew Gainer Blacks, like how we knew Gainer Blacks, was stating that, making the allegation that he's a sellout, he get paid to kick away the penalty. And
Oh,
so I can tell you honestly, I will go to bat with him on a football field any given day, because Kenneth Gainer is a man that get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to train. So he exactly execute on and off the field when it comes to football. And Cedric Brown will tell you that, but Cedric Brown was one of his good friends.
yes.
Now, you heard people saying that people go in a state of shock and depression. Kenneth Gainer was one of those persons. After that Dakar Cup final, he locked himself away for a very long time. He was staying at that top school, the main campus of Rusea's. When you're going up there, that I think that first house or second house on the right before you get to the campus. Kenneth
Yes.
Gainer was staying there at the time,
Yes.
and a few of us have had to go there and get him out of that house.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so he was in a state of depression for a very, very long time. And I think up to now is that game still haunts him that day. Many of us, but we cannot get over it in a sense. But I think that particular final kind of struck a low blow mentally in his psyche.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had to get that out there, because a lot of people were texting about that question and how we didn't answer it last week. So I had to get that out
Okay.
there.
Okay. One let you that St. Ryan Steele, all the way from Canada, is in the house. Say blessings. Toronto in the house, for real. Yes, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
5 star.
Thanks for that clarification. So again, many people who leave from another country and came to the United States experience what is called a culture shock. It's a complete shift in the mindset. As a matter of fact, in your case, you came from a superstar experience, and I don't want to speak for you, but most people coming from wherever coming to New York is almost like you come and you're like a nobody, because you're now like a small fish in a big pond. Whereas in Lucy, you were a big fish in a small pond. You were a rock star.
Mhm.
How did that feel for you to be walking around in New York City and nobody basically giving you a high five and saying, Coach, good job, and all that stuff? What was that like? Because that was a sudden shift from a position of prominence to a position where almost like nobody knows you.
And, and as I said before, when I'm speaking to also the students of Rusea High School, and I'm
Yes,
speaking to other students around the world,
yes,
because I have to realign myself and like kind of reconfigure my entire way of life. So yes, I was the so-called, I wouldn't say myself as a superstar, but I had to change everything when I get here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So no, I didn't have a high flying job. I didn't have the big coaching job or teaching at a high school. My first job was working at ANS department store. Back in the days, that's no the Macy's, no Abraham and Strauss, ANS, yes.
Mm.
So that they convert that into Macy's downtown on Fulton Street, Brooklyn. So I was living in Brooklyn at the time.
Yes, yes.
So I was there as a fulfillment specialist. Now,
Okay.
you see, in life, try to help others.
Yes, yes.
This journey is not just for you.
Okay.
So at the time, the early 1990s, their computers were just coming into play.
Yes,
So, I was doing some data entry. Now, this particular gentleman got hired at ANS. His name is Steve Mulligan.
yes,
And, when he came in, no one wanted to even show him the ropes of exactly how to do the job.
yes.
And I had a little basic knowledge about data entry at the time. So I passed on the little knowledge that I knew onto him.
Yes.
So what happened after that, he didn't stay around for long. He leave the job and he went to Catholic charities.
Okay.
So I was there working and wasn't getting paid much. And he called several times to my office, speak to
Yes.
my manager, and tell him, oh, I need to speak to Troy. I did not receive that message.
Wow.
He called several times and I did not receive that message. What
Wow.
so what Steve did, Steve drove all the way from Queens, parked up at the exit entrance, and waited for me until I was leaving that evening.
Wow.
And he said, Troy, listen, I have a job for you.
Wow.
Yep. And I said, what? He said, yeah, as an inventory supervisor. And he said, are you ready? I said, sure. Because I know it's going to be paying much more than what I'm making.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I took a 2 week vacation. I shoot back home to Jamaica and came back, handed my resignation. And then
Wow.
I was hired at Catholic Charities as an inventory supervisor. The same person who I trained a couple of years ago, he was my boss.
Wow. Wow. That's a very good point, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
yeah,
That's a very good life lesson.
yeah.
And I'm glad you took the time to highlight it. Um, is he around still? Is he somebody that you
Yeah,
are in touch with?
he's around, but I haven't seen him for a long time now. So
Yeah.
so
I wish he could hear. I wish he could hear this.
yeah,
This is good.
yeah, But
This is good.
my first job wasn't that job, my first job wasn't Sadi. My first job was at a record shop, in right across from Ronald Young. That was Shrimpy Record Shop, Robert Young.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was my first gig. So I was selling records myself and Dave Johnson, aka Bellboy, aka Brigadier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when Brigadier Bellboy used to go to Kingston to buy records, I was the only little teenager youth I sell record in a record shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So the good thing, you see, sometimes when you're doing things, you got to know your audience. And you have a lot of, you remember back in the days, the market people them come down from Dias, Jericho, all over. They come in the
Yes.
market and things. So one particular Saturday, I decided to play some gospel.
Mm.
And I want to tell you that the gospel music themselves more than the reggae music them every Saturday morning.
Wow.
Because once I start to play gospel music in that record shop, all the country people them come and start to buy the gospel
Wow.
records. Yeah,
Wow. Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. I never knew about that.
Yeah,
Never knew about that.
yeah.
Wow.
So fast forward to Catholic Charities, I worked there for probably about 2.5 years,
Mm.
and then actually the contract ran out because actually it was a lease, it was a 5-year lease, so it ran out.
Okay.
So actually, Kings County Hospital Center put in what's called a RFA, request for application, because they have to
Yeah.
submit that RFA to the state every 5 years. So you can have dozen and dozen of organization bid for a particular program. So the
Okay.
program that we were running at the time was called Food and Nutrition Program. It's similar
Yes.
to WIC program. That WIC is, as the mothers know, women, infants, and children. They specialize in giving baby formulas. You see, baby formulas that's scarce on the shelf right now. We used to give out those things like water.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we were more into the nutrition part by taking care of the health and the needs of pregnant mothers, postpartum mothers, etc., and
Okay.
children under the age of 6. So
Okay.
Kings County, Kings County, do the RFA. They got the bid. They won the agreement to get the thing started. But the problem they had, they didn't have nobody to do the startup. So guess what? They request my assistant.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did a startup that was in 1995.
Yes.
So in 1995, we grew from zero participants to 31,000 people we're serving every single month.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Stop right there before you proceed. Greg, Mr. Greg Malcolm just turned on. Looking forward to the journey. I wonder if he was given instruction that he need to log into our thing, because he's trying to get into just being an observer. I thought we are gonna put him to work tonight.
Yeah.
So,
So
Mr. Malcolm,
yeah.
you're supposed to be the host with me tonight. So come on in, because you have some neat things that you did last week, and we need you to do them. Before you continue, Mr. Milton Jeff Jarrett is in the house. He says,
That's the
Bulla
best
Troy,
part.
I can't find enough superlatives to describe your amazing personality and never say die attitude that you have displayed over the years in all facets of your life and those around you. That's big. That's big.
Big
Coming
up, big up.
from Jeff.
Yeah, man. That's my
Big.
art. That's my
Yeah,
article friend right there.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
big respect. Enough respect, Jeff.
Uh,
Good.
Mr. D, before you even move in,
Yes.
that same Mr. Milton Jarrett, I'm gonna
Yes.
give you guys at this tour, I just say, when that was at the main campus at Rusea's, and I'm there myself and seeing Rowan Samuels. So,
Yes.
at those times, Rusea's was strict. You got to adhere to the uniform standard that set forth there.
Yes.
And we were wearing our football socks and rag in pocket and stuff. And Milton Jarrett and Vincent Miller, I think Vincent Miller was the head boy at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And every morning, remember too, Rusty's had prefects, prefects
Correct.
just as stern as any teachers there.
That's
And
right.
every morning, Jeff was on myself and Lottie case about wearing the proper uniform. They tell one time Jeff couldn't take it no more. He marched me and Lottie straight to Mr. Miller office, So
What?
Yes, straight to Mr. Miller office. Mr. Miller, the red oak floors them back in the day.
Yes.
Mr. Miller give us 1,000 lines and then have us kneel down on the red oak. Every kid that pass us, lunchtime, break time, see myself and Ruan Samuels kneel down on the red oak there for almost 3 hours there. So there, Milton Jarrett do that to us, but I still love him.
And you love him anyway.
Yeah, I still love him.
Yes. 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 Alfred Reed is in the house. It says, Bulla Troy. Bulla Troy. Let me tell you what I said. From man's days, we had good role models. You will say that.
Yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man.
Yes.
Doing,
And
doing.
Glaswin Rivet is in there. Glaswin is in there. Glaswin Rivet. Good evening, everyone. All right.
Yeah,
So the house are packed up in there now.
that's my architectural genius, you know. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
Talking about that, there is a beautiful image behind you. Just prips us as to what it is. I'm going to go back to it again later on. But what's going on there? What is that beautiful
you see
image
that?
on the back? It look like a masterpiece right there. What's going on?
You see that same gentleman that just love on the, right there.
Mr. Glaswin Rivet.
Yeah, yeah. We worked tirelessly on this project, along with many more like the Gregor Malcolm and Norman Phillips and everybody else on the board. Um, Now, you see, we have a vision, Mr. D,
Yes.
and we have you see, our attitude, don't tell us that we can't do it.
Yeah.
Because you see, if I'm steering this boat,
Yes.
and it might be 10 of us, it might be 5 of us, we're going somewhere with it.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So you're gonna have a few that's boring hole in the boat, but you have that core group of sailors where every time somebody bore a hole in the boat, them bung it or them stop and
Beautiful.
leave.
Beautiful.
So don't tell
Beautiful.
us that we can't build this facility. So what you're seeing in the background here, viewers
Yes.
from around the world,
Yes.
this is a new design of the Rusea's changing room facility.
Nice. Nice.
And
Lovely.
and when we asked the guys them in the original guys them that came on, the original footballers them and a few of the netballers them, I asked them to listen, go and Google one of the Premier League or La Liga team changing room facility. And we said we're going to mimic or build something just as good as any one of them.
Nice. Nice.
So
Nice.
this changing room facility also have a conference room. Why a conference room? Everybody said, why would we do what a conference room? Why not a conference room? Because you have to think business like.
Yes. Yes.
So if corporate Jamaica want to rent or lease the conference room, it's there. It generates funds for Rusea.
Yes. Yes.
If corporate America want to fly down and use the facility, it's there for them to use.
Nice. Nice.
So that's what is it. Yeah, man. Glad that Corey Brevet, the original designer for this thing.
Nice. Lovely. Lovely. Love it. Yes. Jackie Finnegan is in the house. Action. Action. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And within the short period of time that Rusea's Brosis has been in effect, it has been some serious accomplishments already. We have already impacted the school, and the word is out that the Rusea's Old Student Association is doing something about our school that we are proud of. We're not going to talk about it, just talk about it, but we are doing something about that, and that's excellent. So coming back to your journey, so you ended up being the pioneer for the project that started with Catholic Charities, or that you started with Catholic Charities, and then you transition over into, that's downstate. Which hospital is that?
It's cross from downstate. It's called Kings County Hospital. One of the
Kings
biggest
County,
hospitals.
correct.
One of the biggest hospitals in New York.
You say within a year, is 31,000 people benefited from it per month.
Per month, yeah.
That's massive. That is massive. And during that situation, what was your title?
Well, my title at the time was supervisor of inventory. So basically what we do, because listen, you get truckloads of goods every single day.
Yes.
So my job along with my team at the time was to ensure that everything that comes in, I can give account for. Everything that leaves the facility, I give account for. So,
Pause right there for me now. Let me ask you a question. You were a soccer coach and teacher at Rusea's.
Mhm.
You came to the United States of America. You know, Jamaica is considered or called a third world country.
Mhm.
You came to the Big Apple, New York City, where it's happening, the city that is named twice,
Mhm.
New York, New York.
Mhm.
And within a matter of 4 years, you were a supervisor.
Mhm.
What do you think you had in your past experience as a coach, as a teacher, that helped to prepare you for such a responsibility? What do you think?
Discipline.
If there's any correlation, if there's any relationship.
It's always that correlationship from my playing days as a leader, as a captain, my coaching days as a coach,
Mm,
as a leader, as a motivator. So the discipline, the dedication, the perseverance, the hard work, I'll tell
nice.
you, yes, and everything that I implement now is what I've learned from several years back.
You mentioned three words:
Mhm.
discipline,
Mhm.
perseverance,
Mhm.
hard work. If there's any student listening to us tonight, those three characteristics are keys to success on any level, whether it's academic or athletic,
Mhm.
any level, whatever it is, those three things are required: the discipline,
Mhm.
the perseverance, and the hard work. I'm so glad, because for you to have become captain of the under 16 as soon as you got to Rusea's, that was because there was some things going on. Okay. And then on top of that, for you to get to that level where they came and offered you a job to teach and to coach, they must see the discipline, the perseverance, and the hard work. And here you came to the United States and you brought those skills with you, the discipline, the perseverance, and the hard work, and it started to pay off.
Mhm.
So here it is now. You're now doing some things, you know, benefiting a lot of people, because what you were doing, you were touching lives, especially people who needed the most. You know, where did that take you?
Mr. D, I'm a blessed man. And when I
Talk to me.
say,
Talk to me.
when I say I'm a blessed,
Mr. D,
listen,
I'm a blessed man. And when I say, I'm a blessed.
Okay, so Mr. Gregory Malcolm is in the house, and there's a little echo, so we're gonna. I think he has two devices. That's what's happening. So he's in. Good. So we're gonna
Yeah,
have
can
we're
you
gonna
hear
have the
me?
chat.
yes.
Yes, Mr. Champion. Not your video. Video is not on.
Oh, okay. My apologies. I'm getting
That's
myself
okay.
organized. Keep it going.
No,
I'll
we're
figure
just
it
glad
out.
to have you, man. We're just glad to have you in the
All
house.
right, beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm right.
Yes,
Let me
yes,
sort
yes.
myself out. I'll be there shortly.
That's all right. That's all right. So yes, you said you're a blessed man, and I'm so glad you used that word, because a lot of people don't want to use the word blessed. They talk about why I'm a lucky bad, or why I may do this, I may do that. But to hear you as the president to take the time to say that you're a blessed man, a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
They take the credit, say, I'm me do this, But based on what I am hearing, and I'm just listening, you're saying that God has been on your side.
Yep.
That's
All
what I'm hearing. And I'm glad to hear that, because I personally believe that God has been on my side. So when I hear another person say that, I personally know what that feels like, because I'm a living example. Yes, Mr. Gregory in the house. Glad to see you, man.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
pleasure.
Yes.
My apologies for being late, but I was predisposed with some other stuff. But I'm here now, so
No, we're delighted. We're delighted. And we know you were taking care of some stuff.
yeah.
Norway Mr. Phillips explained to us what was going on. So we know you're doing big business. That's good. So we are on that corporate journey with Mr. President, Mr. Troy Malcolm. And though, by the way, those neat things that you pulled off last week, you're the man. You're gonna bring those in at some point, at some time, okay? So
Sure,
feel free to do
absolutely.
that. you know. But yeah, so we are talking about that corporate journey. And now Mr. Troy Malcolm is now supervisor, taking care of that program that cared for, you know, pregnant women and children under 6 years old, and postpartum women and all that stuff, and taking care of all those benefits. And thousands of people are being benefited from that. And I can only see the New York experience building. Where did you go from that supervisor position? Where did that take you?
Now, yeah, so what I've said, and it all boils down to dedication and hard work. Because in order for us to get to that 31,000 people, serving 31,000 people a month, didn't come overnight.
Right, right.
And you have to have some good supporting staff around you in order
Yes,
to
yes, yes,
get to that point.
yes.
So we started off with a base. The base was Brooklyn, and then we started to do marketing throughout the 5 boroughs.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we started to grow and we started to grow. So
Wow.
after that, the 5 years up, so we have to do our RFA all over again. So we have all these different corporations sending in their bids, and you're hoping that you write a good proposal so the state can accept it, because actually the funding was from the federal government.
Yes,
So
yes.
everything trickled down. The federal government trickled down the funds to the state trickled down the funds to the city. So you're hoping that you write, a good RFA. So when you submit your RFA, it's on point. Collectively, we as managers, as supervisors, we did that. So it seems like a freezer.
So you were involved in the
Okay.
creation of the RFA?
Yes, yes. One thing we always work together as a team, the department heads. So we pool our resources together. We write our little piece here and there. We proofread each other what we wrote, and we submit it. And we were approved again another 5-year contract. Now,
Wow, wow.
so what transpired from that is, I think, probably about another 3 more years after that, the state decided they want to go to a full senior program. So they were cutting out the pregnant mothers and the postpartum mothers and the kids under the age of 6. So they want to go full blown senior citizen program, 60 and over.
Wow.
Yeah. So you have to recreate the wheel all over again, because you have to do marketing all over again.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So we did, we grab our team, and we did that again, and we're serving over 25,000 people.
Wow.
Senior citizens,
Seniors this time.
strictly seniors,
Wow.
through the 5 boroughs.
Wow.
So the how we're growing so fast is that we had to hire 4 MVO drivers. These are all city workers. They're all city workers, work for Kingston County Hospital. So
Okay.
yeah, so we had to hire 4 drivers. We have certifiers, we have inventory guys, we have stock workers, and we have the full support staff, which is about almost 28 staff at the time.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. And your role was still supervisor?
Still supervisor. Then, while we're doing that second RFA,
Yes.
my director at the time, his name is Mr. Gregory Ellis.
Yes.
So you heard I said there are people come into your life at a certain point that kind of transform and change your life. So, but
Yes.
he had a vision. So he had a vision where in his mind he wanted to create the same programs into the 5 boroughs. So when we submit that second RFA, is submit that second RFA with the mind that we want to open another location somewhere in Queens.
Okay. Okay.
So when he submit that, we got lucky. Well, I don't know if it was luck, but I know luck was part of it as well. We got a second location in Queens.
Mm.
So we were working two locations at the same time. So at that time, he was the director, and then you have three supervisors there.
Yes.
So his thing was to have one location in Brooklyn, one in Queens, and one in the Bronx.
Yes.
So we started to do the transition in the Queens and start to open up, and we start to do marketing again, and we grew to about 8,000 people there in Queens.
Okay. Okay.
So, as I said before, he saw the potential, but at some point in time, I started getting frustrated. Because I was working very hard, extremely hard.
Yes.
Going to work early in the morning, and I was getting frustrated. And I think that I deserve a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah, so Troy, if I may, and you pause there, because I think I know where you're transitioning to. So, clearly during those times, and I did see you were working hard. And I guess as you go through your journey, we all try to serve our communities in different ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were at the heart of serving the community more directly than a lot of us were.
Right.
And I saw the hours you put in, long hours. I know you weren't getting overtime pay and all that stuff, but I also saw the level of dedication you put into serving others in a very direct way. So you're saying you were frustrated, but at the same time, I think you saw it as your duty. And so, how did it feel, trying to balance that frustration that you felt versus what you felt was a duty, to serve others?
Excellent,
Wow.
excellent question.
Yes.
Excellent question. And I think that was our motivation, not just me, but my supporting staff, the staff that I go to battle with every single day. We have that love and that passion for elderly folks.
Yes.
And when we go into the neighborhoods and we tell a particular senior center that we'll be there at 7 o'clock or so, seniors were lining up outside waiting for us, 4 or 5 o'clock, any given weather. You're talking about minus 30-degree weather, snow, rain. They were there waiting for us. There are times I run my car for 7.5 hours, just to put seniors in my car to sit down, just to keep themselves warm.
Wow.
So the general law, that's what I'm saying. I'm blessed, Mr. D. And a lot of my workers that work with me, they're blessed because the amount of effort and work that we put outside there, just for those seniors, $1 million can't pay me.
Wow. I that touches me because I'll tell you this, a lot of young people come to the United States, especially come to New York City where, they want to be fly. That level of compassion and connection with the community is unusual. It's big. And I do believe that it also helped to ground you in terms of your value system. You're not about the bling, and it actually helped you to be able to manage your finance in a different way as compared to those who just want to be able to model and show off to say, I'm in New York, I live in New York. So therefore I'm going to let the world know that I think it sort of give you a clearer head that even if you made $1 million, nobody would need to see to know. They would never even know because that's not your priority. Your priority is trying to change the lives of people. And in the process, you earn a living, but it's not just about that money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you running your car so that a senior could be comfortable, could be warm. Mm-hmm. Most people wouldn't even let a senior come sit in their car. Mm-hmm. So I appreciate you investing in our seniors the way that you have.
Yeah.
Now, are you still working in that type of program, or was there a change?
Well, actually, before we pass out of that, when we do the startup in Queens, because
Yes,
remember we're running both programs at the same time,
Brooklyn and Queens,
Brooklyn
yes.
and Queens. So my director then, as I said before, his name was Mr. Gregory Ellis.
Yes,
So we had a good relationship, and this is someone, as I said before, people comes into your life at a certain point in time that transform and change your life, and he was also one of them. And he said to me, "Why don't go back to college?"
Mm,
And at that
mm,
point, I wasn't even thinking about college, but you're thinking about you're working hard, and you're thinking about upgrading yourself. But at the time, you weren't thinking about going to college. But
yes,
when you have a young family, and you know that you have to provide for that family, then the train of thoughts, you start to think differently.
yes,
So he said, "Listen, just try it, just go and register, and then come back and tell me exactly what if you did or not the next day." And I did. So I went, and I went to the College of New Rochelle, fill out the application, do everything. Then I came back and I showed myself, "Listen, register." And he made me a promise, and he said to me, "Listen, the moment you graduate, I'm going to promote you to coordinating manager."
mm,
So I did that, and I did the college thing in 3.5 years.
wow,
Yeah, 3.5
wow,
years, and he was a man of his word. You know, when about 6 weeks left leave before I graduated, he started putting the paperwork for my promotion.
wow.
Yeah, so I got promoted.
Coordinating manager.
Yeah, so I got promoted under his leadership twice.
You made a point, and you have made it a couple times, where you say people come into your life for a reason. But do you recognize that your work ethic and your personality allowed people to want to do something with you and for you? Do you recognize that?
That's
It
true.
doesn't happen for everyone.
That's true. That,
Before you
that
just ponder that for a little bit, I need to just share with you some things that have occurred on the chat.
Mhm.
As I told you, the last thing I should share was Jackie Finnegan saying action, action.
Mhm.
And then Carlene Stewart took the time to big up Jackie. Jackie, you're here. So that's good. And Jackie said, yes, getting ready for a night shift and listening. Patricia Sterling, blessings, bro, on the night shift, tuning in. Mr. Kenute Connell, I consider this a celebration for the accomplishment of two outstanding students who I was privileged to serve. Miss Claudette Shipping, good night, family. Looking forward to another great interview with the man of all seasons. Yes.
Appreciate
So
it.
yes, we're catching up. We're catching up with you. So I was saying to you
Mhm.
that if you listen to the comment that was made by Mr. Milton Jeff Jarrett, he said that you don't take no for an answer, and you're the person who will stick with it and take it to the end until it's done. Is it possible that that type of tenacity, that type of perseverance, that personality, that calmness that you bring, because I mean, this is just my opinion because I've known you for years and years, you're approachable. Is it possible that because of that, people see it and they will go out of the way to make sure that they have to create a path for you? I'm asking you the question. Do you ever think about it and ponder that?
Yeah, it's somewhat true, but don't make the personality fool you, because I'm a no nonsense guy as well, Mr. D.
That's okay. No, that's okay.
And I don't tolerate a lot of you know what, I'm straightforward, and when I want,
Yes.
I don't, if I wanted something to be get done, I want it to get done, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and I like to do follow-ups. So if I set out and do a project, and you know, the Greg will tell you, the Norway will tell you, the Curry will tell you. I call them constantly to find out what's the status on this, what's the status on that. So,
Yes, yes.
but surround yourself with good people.
Mm.
You know, that's the key. Surround yourself with good people, and they will transform your life as well. You know,
Wow,
yeah.
wow, wow. Well said, well said. Mr. Greg,
Yeah,
you know,
he is
yeah,
tenacious for sure, right? I mean, you
yeah,
know, I mean, one of the things, he's a stubborn man. He's a very stubborn man, and you know, it's you know, clear that comes with positives, but also, you know, that's some drawbacks as well. But
yes.
the positive thing with his stubbornness is as he said, you know,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't
give
get
up.
dissuaded, doesn't give up, doesn't get dissuaded easily. And, you know, I think that bodes well for the leadership he's showing in driving this foundation forward because, you know, regardless of all the distractions that may be happening around him, you know, he's keeping us all very motivated on where we need to go, right? So,
Well said,
you
well
know,
said.
so he talks about, yeah, he's a pest. Honestly, I mean, Norrin will tell you, I mean, he's on our case consistently about, okay, what's the update on this? Where are we on this and all that stuff? And, you know, he's keen to get things done. So, you know, so yeah, I mean, I could attest to what he said.
And with that said, I just want to highlight and remind us that come May 28th, this weekend, the 28th, Russie's Brosis Foundation will have its second annual Blue and White Affair. Last year was a tremendous success, and this year will be no less. So please plan your best. Be a part of this great event. It's all in the name of Russie's High School. We are serious about making a difference. And there it is, the Grill and Chill, Russie's High School, May 28th in the Bronx. You can't miss it. There's a flyer right there. And Mr.
Yo,
Malcolm,
so
if you
me
could
the
just
young Jamaican
let him tell
trainer,
us.
Mr. Strength No Weakness himself. Yo, I'm here to tell you guys that the Brosis family presents their second annual Blue and White Grill and Chill. Let me let you know something. It will be so much fun and amazing event. Make sure you show up and show out. From the young Jamaican trainer himself. Listen, Saturday, May 28th, and it's 3458 Bulla Avenue, Bronx, New York. Me see you later. Strength No Weakness.
And in the same breath, I also want to highlight and remind us that the William Knibb Association will also be doing their event on Monday, the 30th. And they will be supporting us, the Russie's Brosis Foundation. We will be supporting them on Monday in Mount Vernon. They will be having a barbecue in Mount Vernon. And of course, the Manning's crew, we support them. We're the Cornwall crew, whatever crew it is, as long as we're about helping our schools and helping our students, Russie's Brosis is going to be right there with you. So again, make it a date and be a part of the effort to build Russie's and take it to the next level. Yes, back to you, Mr. President. You know, as you mentioned, Mr. Gregory Ellis kept his word and you were promoted. Was that coordinating manager that was at the title that you were given?
Coordinated manager, yes.
And that was only for Brooklyn, or did it cover the 5 boroughs?
Both operation projects, both sides.
In Queens and Brooklyn.
Queens and Brooklyn, yes.
Wow. Wow. So did you travel back and forth between the 2 sites?
Back and forth.
Or you just stayed in Brooklyn?
Back and forth.
Back and forth.
Yeah. But
Nice.
I'll probably, there's some days I probably do 3 days in Queens and then another 2 days in Brooklyn. You know, because I was also the head of the department for the inventory. So I used to go back and forth.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
to make sure
Again, you transfer the skills as a coach and as a captain and as an astute athlete and took it into business and excelled. And excelled. It's like you weren't looking for somebody to do you a favor. You prove that you can deliver, and you did. Coordinating manager. What happened from there? Where did you go from there? And listen to me, don't be shy. This is highlighting a journey that started humbly in Lucy, started at Rusea's, where school was not initially a priority, but yet you put energy in whatever you did, and then transfer that same energy into your work, and then transfer that same energy into college, where you graduated in 3.5 years instead of 4 years. And then your career continued to grow and evolve. So it's all connected. It's not accidental. It is connected. That perseverance and that discipline, all of those things put together are still manifesting. And here is the same energy that you bring to the Brosis Foundation. And I'm praying and hoping that those students who are listening as we share these journeys will realize that they too can put into play these characteristics and create a journey for themselves. Am I correct with that?
And that's exactly where I'm going with this and where we are going with this. Because at some point in time in your life, you have to show exactly, as I said before last week, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Because,
Yes.
so so even college, I was surprised when the dean come up to me and said, listen, the faculty staff and a few of the senior students, they nominated to speak at the graduation ceremony on behalf of
What?
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think Greg was overseas and I was elated. So Greg flew down and my entire family was there and the rest
nice.
Yeah.
Man from yard.
Yeah.
They are foreign.
Yeah.
Big Apple. And nominated to be the speaker. Was that graduation?
Graduation ceremony.
Massive. Yeah. No, that's massive. Trust
me.
So
the valedictorian, right?
Yeah. Massive. You never know that. You never tell me that. That's massive, man. That's huge. No, that's big.
But Mr. D was a lot of hard work. Listen, the same Franz Cunningham who used to play cricket.
Yes.
Yeah, and used to play, I think he was one of the first cricketer from Rusea to play for Jamaica at the time. He and I used to do hours and hours of studying at Barnes and Noble and Bay Plaza there. So listen, I give up the outside world and the outside life for 3.5, 4 years. So nice. I was working full time and I was battling the books full time. So when so when I leave, when I go to work like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, then I leave about 4 or 5. Class started at 6 to 10. Then I come home, grab a little shower, grab a little bite, and beat the books again. And the weekend was the same thing. From as Barnes and Noble open in the morning, right back until it closed. So that's a sacrifice. And I'm speaking to the kids out there. Never give up because there's a pathway for you. And
beautiful.
It transformed my life.
Excellent. Love it. So here it is. What did you do after being coordinating manager?
So actually, it transferred over to the main campus at Kings County Hospital. So there was a position available over there in the surgical department. So they were looking for a coordinating manager, and I guess I fit the bill. But do I know anything about all those 2,000 surgical equipment and stuff? Like, I have no idea. But one thing I do know, I know how to manage. I know about HR, I know about labor relations, I know about the union. So, and I know about leadership. So my management style I brought to that forefront, but I do have a great support staff over there as well. The Winston Taylor, the Henry, the Steve Osiris, Mr. Nelson, Andre, Michael Summers. So those guys helped me to transition smoothly, but in the meantime, while I was doing that, they were also learning a lot from me.
Okay.
Because there's certain things that they did not know because in terms of sitting down and because I do hiring as well in Mr. D.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they didn't know that part about it. So I'll bring them into the interview process and sit down and let them also. I tell them, listen, just Google some questions where you can ask the candidates when they come here. You know, and I show them the review paper, let them know exactly the process of doing such thing. And that's all, you know, you have to develop the staff. And even at my prior job, what I also do, I have a thing called leadership and cross training.
Yes.
So every single month, I will identify one particular staff and tell he or she that, listen, you are going to act like a manager or supervisor today. So you're going to give a report in the meeting.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I still do that up to today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you came. Go ahead, Mr. Malcolm. Go ahead.
Yes. So clearly, it seems that you're demonstrating, the leadership abilities of bringing folks along. The whole concept of lifting as we climb. In the organization you're in currently, and particularly as you talk about transitioning into that, and as you try to bring people along, what were some of the challenges you experienced in bringing what is a different style to something that they've probably been used, something that they haven't been used to? I mean, they've been used to operating a certain way. You have to come in and try to infuse a different style. How did that? Oh, first of all, how was it received by the staff? And
very, very, very good point. And when I got there was many challenges. There was a lot of, you see, there's staff that used to certain things and they think that what they were doing was correct.
Yes.
And you just need a different voice to let them know that this is not correct. For example, staff, you heard that probably one or two staff might be having a drink or on the job, or that person might look intoxicated. We're not sure if that person is intoxicated. So what I did, I called a meeting. I called a general staff meeting. And I addressed the situation, but I also let them know that it's unprofessional to be intoxicated or under the influence at the job.
Yes.
Now, there's one or two people who want to challenge me on that. But one thing I do know, I also let them know that, listen, I'm not here to trample on your rights. Your right is your right. And anything that I'm doing or saying, you have to go to the policy and procedure. So what I did, immediately after the meeting, I went to the policy and procedure manual. Yes. And I took out that particular policy and procedure in regards to intoxication. You can't smoke, you can't drink on the job. This disciplinary action for termination or suspension. So I highlighted those areas and I have one of my manager hand it out to each and every employee. Now, yes. What I did, I did not just hand out a leaflet to each and every employee. What I also did was to have them sign that they received such documents.
Okay, now. Management right there. It's interesting that you knew nothing about the surgical equipment and all that stuff, nothing. Mm-hmm. And then you went into a department not as a trainee, but as a manager, a coordinating manager. Mm-hmm. Many times individuals had an ambition towards being that from inside the team, and you were basically an outsider coming in. Mm-hmm. And as Greg pointed out, that must be a challenge because people must have been jealous to know that you came in from outside and they promoted you to the position that they might have wanted. But yet you came in and you dealt with what had to be dealt with and you found your spot and you take it from there. The rest is history. That's commendable. That speaks a lot.
And there were some bad apples there, to be honest with you. that
Of course,
that,
everywhere.
that current managers were scared to even approach or even say anything.
Mm.
Understand? But one thing I taught my managers, so document things.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if you speak to this person, document it.
Yes.
That means when you're ready to take it to the next level, then you can call in the union rep, you can call in HR, and then you have another sit-down session. But you have to show exactly, the step-by-step procedure of exactly how to execute to the final end. But
Correct.
you can't say you're going to discipline somebody when you don't have a sit-down one-on-one with that person to identify the problem that he or she has.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Before we go on, Howard Stevenson commented, a true trailblazer, both at home and abroad. Steve Edwards, I admired you since I was a kid. I miss you on my DaCosta Cup journey. You are a great man. That's from Steve Edwards.
Yeah, man, big up Edwards. Yeah. I'm just
Then V, Veronica Barrett Beecham. You have an amazing journey. And she has an amazing journey also. But one amazing journey to another. You have an amazing journey. You are truly blessed, my friend, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Truly, truly, truly. Just wanted to share some of the compliments that are coming in. Okay? So yes, Mr. Malcolm, for you to get into the jungle and to wrestle with the dragon and the bear and the tiger and survive, it says a lot. It says a lot. How did you mentioned the idea of training your staff to start taking leadership position, giving them exposure to management by letting them act as manager for a day and to even to lead meetings and what have you. I can only imagine how much of a positive influence it had on your team, where you didn't have to be in charge all the time. You would give different people the responsibility to be in charge, and then you just sit back and observe and monitor. Give me an idea of some of the highlights of, say, someone who you gave that responsibility and it was a huge morale booster for that person. You don't have to mention name, but give us an example of some of that experience you have had.
I think I can speak for all of them. They're amazed how the way I do things. Because when I got there, it's like it's just one voice. So every morning they have what's called a huddle every
Yes.
9 o'clock. So all the managers there, the director there, and then he or she might go around and ask questions, any problems, what the problems, but always notice that they're saying no issues, no issues. We have a complex operation, so we must have issues. You understand? But
Yes.
what I also did, I kind of removed myself. When I became the leader of that pack, I removed myself and started to say, listen, I want to hear your voice. So what I did, every morning or every other morning, I will assign a manager to lead the huddle.
Yes.
So what do you think happening now? They're comfortable leading the huddle, and then they're writing me reports and sending my reports and saying, okay, this is what happened in the huddle.
Mercy.
So every Monday morning, now recently, every Monday morning and Friday morning, I'm at a leadership meeting. So with all the department heads. So I cannot be at the manager's huddle because they both happen at the same time, 9 o'clock. So this is where the training comes in. The managers, any one of them, they take the huddle and they lead the huddle in the morning.
Wow.
While I'm not here. So
that's big.
Yeah,
that's big. St. Ryan Steele checked in, says again, he says, Troy is a real big brother.
Yeah, man. Love him.
Yes, man. All the way from Canada. Yes. Yes. So talk to me. Was that your last promotion?
Well, last for right now, so we're still working on some things, so I can't speak on it right now.
Beautiful. Give me an idea of the magnitude of your responsibilities. Just give me an idea of the team that you have working below you. How many supervisors or managers or whatever you have? I just want to get a picture because I see you managing a huge department because you're at the main campus for Downstate Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Not for, is it Downstate?
Yeah, Kings County Hospital.
Kings County Hospital. You're at the main campus, and you are now a coordinating manager, correct?
All right. Mm-hmm.
Give me an idea. I want to get an idea of the scope of the team that you have working with you.
Okay.
So your team, give me an idea. What's the scope? Or how large is it? What's involved?
Support staff, over 25. Assistant coordinated manager that I actually under me is 6.
Nice.
And so
25 support staff.
So
That's
my
massive.
my team, they basically support the entire or every single floor, every single building at Kings County.
Wow.
So yeah, and so share a little bit in terms of, particularly during the heights of the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
I mean, what sort of impact did you guys feel operating in that sort of environment?
Hectic. Actually, I must give kudos to the current staff that's there right now, because
Yes.
actually when I remember, I just went there about 2 years ago. So they were in the heart of the fire, heart of the battle. Because when I got there, and then my office, there was about 3 to 4 tractor trailers at the back entrance of my office, dead bodies.
Mercy.
So my staff, they were operating at a 24-hour operation, day and night, stressed out, but they're a trooper. They have to get the job done, and they get the job done, because at any given time, this is the thing we always tell each other, that it could be one of our family members in one of those rooms.
Yeah, yes.
So we are
That's a good outlook.
Yeah, so we are a patient-driven department where we take our job very, very seriously.
Nice. If someone was in school right now and wanted to get into an area like where you are, what would you say to that person in terms of how they could prepare? I'm talking about in high school, how they could prepare to get into the hospital system the way that you did. I mean, you were blessed in that you had things just happen and doors opened, and from one to the other, and you just made that transition up and up and up. But somebody trying to look ahead, and they haven't started the journey yet, they're just doing preparation. What would you say to a young person in school, whether it's in Jamaica or Barbados or St. Vincent or Ghana or Peru, somewhere in South America or Central America or anywhere, who is looking for something to hold on to? How would you encourage that person?
Never give up on your dreams. And you see, there are roadblocks in your life, and it might come at different stages, it might come at different times.
Yes.
But always still have the perseverance to pursue your dreams. It's not, sometimes even the things that you have in your mind that you want to do might not even be exactly what it might turn out to be or what you want to do.
Yes.
But for me or for them, just apply. Just go and apply. If you hear that the job is there, just go and apply.
And sometimes you could get an entry-level job,
Yeah.
do very good at it, and find that you grow into another space. Is that something that is a possibility?
Yeah, because actually, and there's a lot of opportunities out there, Mr. D, especially after the COVID or during the COVID. There's a lot of jobs out there. They just have to just search and do the due diligence by searching.
Okay.
Because someone said something to me like, I don't want to divert from exactly what you just said, but someone said to me the other day that Rusty's owes them. I said, what?
Wow.
I said, what?
Okay.
Rusty's owe you? I said, no. I said, my thinking is totally different from you. Rusty's do not owe you anything.
The opposite.
Yeah, I owe Rusty's.
Me too. Me
Yeah,
too. Count me. Me owe
yeah.
Russies, man.
Yes,
Me
sir.
can't pay Russies.
Yeah, you
Me
know,
can't pay back for
Yeah.
Russies for what Russies did for me.
Rusty's gave you that a chance to get an education. So
Mhm.
whatever you do with it within that time, that's
Mhm.
on you. But Russians don't owe you anything. So even when we were celebrating Mr. Henry life, I don't want to
Yes.
divert and go, but this is how I celebrate Mr. Henry life. The person that I am today, the journey the path that I took, the
Mhm.
struggle, the hardship, the work, the tireless work, the dedication, the motivation. That's how
Yes.
I celebrate his life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. 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 You know, I cannot end this interview without talking about the Russies Brosis Foundation. You have managed to pull together a lot of hardworking, dedicated team members, a lot of professionals, a lot of people who just who are working, they have family and they have business, but yet they're willing to invest their skills, their funds, their energy, their influence to make sure that the Russies Brosis Foundation has an impact, makes a difference. How were you able to pull so many good people who are still on board and still working hard, many behind the scenes? You don't see them on the front, but they are working behind the scenes. How are you able to do that? Because, you know, in every organization, it's always difficult to find good people, but we have a lot of good people in Brosis. Help me. How did that?
And the journey, anything that you see, they say anything that comes easy is never good.
Mercy, mercy. Aye, that's a
So
strong statement.
yeah, and so when this journey all began with, as I said before, with the hardcore of us footballers, and footballers anyway, you guys at big up yourself. But
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm you see, follow my lead because I follow Mr. Henry lead. So follow my
Mm,
lead and you will see the fruit in the end. Because the moment we started this journey together from 1983 and beyond, we've been successful. Now, some of you might jump ship. Don't jump ship. Because if we say we're going to build, we're going to build.
yes, yes, yes.
You know, and as I said, one project at a time, let's do one project at a time. Because you cannot dip your hand in the 10 different pots and then you don't have the resources to complete any.
Right, right, right.
So, Carlin Stewart, do me a favor, just put up that link where we can have the audience donate. Just donate $20.
Mm,
$20. That's all we're asking for right now. Just everybody just give us $20. Remember, if you're in the US, we're converting that into Jamaican dollars, right?
yes. I want to just infuse here, Mr. Garnet Denton.
That's
Good
God.
night, everyone. Big up, Mr. Malcolm, representing from William Nib. Yes, Mr. Denton in the house. Colin Stewart, me three, in terms of we overseas. Mr. Ryan Steele, Colin, me four. Yes, is what's going on. There are individuals who feel the same way that whatever we can do for Russies, we will. Because Russies has been good to us. Russies has allowed us create a path of influence, and we have been blessed. And what a greater way to show our gratitude than to pour it back into Rusea's. There's no other way. There's no greater way. And that's the only way we can show our gratitude, by pouring back into Rusea's.
Yes.
Mr. Connell, just before you jump in, Mr. Connell, the healthcare industry is the largest industry in America, and medical supply is a very difficult area to manage due to outdated, etc. What are some of your greatest challenges? Good question.
Good question.
Yes.
You see, right now, as I said before, we have a, right now, as I complete this journey this weekend with the blue and white,
Yes.
full action mode again come June 1st. Because
Yes.
I have the state coming to do inspection June 23rd.
Mm.
So, but we start to prepare. You remember when I said, you see, what I've learned at Rusea's High School, this is what I transferred to what I'm doing now.
Yes.
Preparation. Do not
Yes.
wait until last minute. So when you remember when I said last week, we started training
From early.
from March, April.
Yes, you did. You did.
Same concept what we're doing right there in the surgical department. Because we start to relabel the entire department since March.
Wow.
So we will have
Wow.
one room leave, which is the needle room. Mr. Connell, that's a great point. Right now, I create a group of guys because Mr. Dunkley, you might have the R building, Greg might have the D building, right?
Mm.
And now we might have the C building. So
Yes.
they man those buildings daily. Now, are they checking thoroughly? Are they checking for expired items? Are they checking for expiration date, the best by date, the use by date? So what we have created as a team down there, we say, okay, no, listen. You guys, you're not going to check your own floors for expired.
Okay. Okay.
So I have a different team start to sweep those floors.
Okay.
Stuff. Because you see, you're constantly going to that floor, you're thinking that your floor is good, your floor is okay.
Yes.
But when you do send fresh eyes into that department, then you start to see where stuff is not being checked thoroughly.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost like an audit,
Yeah.
internal audit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say he's
Yeah.
clearly demonstrating principles of a good control environment, right? The whole
Yes.
independence and
Yes.
objectivity aspect. So not
That's
a
great.
trained finance person, but certainly
No,
demonstrating.
I don't reach the finance piece to it. Like you, I'm nowhere close. I have to give you kudos for that. But but in terms of just managing style, I think I pretty much know the fundamentals of doing that.
That's beautiful. It's on point, my brother. It's on point. And good look. Good look. Good
Yeah, so
look.
just going back to your question, Mr. D, because you were asking exactly how I pulled this all together. And because it was at first I declined this role in it.
Mm.
The footballers, they will tell you I declined this role. I said I didn't work because I knew the amount of work that it entails.
Right.
Because remember, I was operating two previous non-for-profit organizations.
Yes.
So I knew the amount of work that it, and the guys will tell you that when I said it's going to take a lot of heavy lifting.
Mm.
But you might start off with 100 people, but by the time when the heavy lifting starts, you might end up with 10.
Understood. Understood.
So they said to pick my team. So when I decided to pick my team, a lot of people get upset. But guess what? I'm going to surround myself with the best and the brightest people because I'm not scared to lead the best and the brightest.
Mm. Mm.
So that's where we are.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. And if all of us had the one objective in mind, the one common thread, it's all for the benefit of Rusea's.
Mm-hmm.
If we all focus like that, it's all for the benefit of Rusea's so that the Rusea's legacy will continue to grow. It becomes easy. It becomes very, very easy. I'll be honest with you. I am on no social media whatsoever. But when you brought this vision about doing something for Russies to me, it was like you got me at my soft spot, because the name Russies gets my attention. And even though I'm a very, very private person, extremely private, the opportunity to say something and to do something for Russies, it's hard for me to say no. So I know I'm not alone. I know that there are many others, some who are not yet on the platform, but if they become aware of what we're doing, I think they will join forces with us to continue to build and to go forward. So it's a good look. And what has been accomplished already is encouraging. And I do believe that many good things are to come.
No,
As we wrap up, go ahead, as we wrap up.
yeah, and because actually, as I said before, I have to give kudos to the board members, the committee
Yes,
members.
yes.
You do have some that works extremely harder than some, unfortunately. But
That's normal. That's
yeah,
normal.
yeah. But we are volunteering our time, precious
Yes.
time that we take
Yes.
away from our family and loved ones.
Yes,
And so we do not want to take that for granted. But
right.
just simply let's put this foundation forward and move it to the next level.
Yes,
So
yes.
people might think that we're dormant, that we're not doing anything. Mr. D, we have done a lot of things within the year and a half, close to 2 years.
Of course,
And
of course.
I'm gonna outline a few so the audience can understand exactly, because you have some people that who logged on, but they do not know exactly what we have done so far, right? So yes, we are a 501c3 non-for-profit organization registered in the US.
Yes,
Okay, our first major initiative, which was orchestrated by our Vice President, Mr. Norwin Phillips, in the height of the pandemic. In the height of the pandemic, students, they were home, teachers were home. So they were having difficulty trying to get their homework to the students. So what the Brosis Foundation did was to create that interconnection where we created a domain for the 2,000 plus students and 100 plus faculty staff by giving each and every student their own personalized email address. So with the click of a mouse, each and every student can receive the same assignment within the split of a second.
yes.
So
That's
that
big.
was our first major initiative.
Wasn't Russia one of the first schools in Jamaica
First school to do it.
to have that?
Yeah, the
That's
first
big.
school in
That's
Jamaica
massive.
started. So when the Minister of Education was doing the launching of that, when they checked Miss Anderson and Mr. Clark at the time, who was the chairman, they were showing off. They said, "Listen, we have that already. So you guys did it.
Nice.
Yeah, the Brosis
Nice.
Foundation. So
Yes.
that was our first major initiative. Then, with the leadership of Mr. Lloyd Campbell Bagger, not Bagger, Stewart. Yeah, so he and 5 other male companions painted the entire main campus of Russell's High School.
That's right. That's right. Beautiful. Good look.
Yeah.
Good look.
When Bagger called, Bagger said, "Listen, Malcolm, I'm on my way down there, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, until painting until 2, 3 o'clock the next morning." So kudos to Bagger and his team for doing that. We also built a pump house for the irrigation system over Rusea High School. Now, another big thing that we also get right up for in the paper was you, Mr. Dunkley, and Don Dawes. We were given free math and English tutorial during the height of the pandemic to students all over the world. Free. That's what Brosis Foundation did. So those are just a few of the initiatives, and also we want to thank, those people that's on the WhatsApp platform as well. The good news with Dr. Zeb who give her gospel hour every Sunday between the hours of 6 to 7 or sometimes 7 to 8. You know, so that he keeps us grounded. For
Yes.
the Roots man, he give us a 1 hour show. Baron Spencer Gospel show. Lynn Zion, the Health and Willingness. You know, so we have those people that keep us grounded. But thanks to our IT team, Mr. T, you know, the Norway and the Caroline, constantly putting out all the information, calling us and making sure that we're all right.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And also one other thing, just a big kudos and thank you to all those who donated tablets as part of the tablet drive last year. You know, so that was as well distributed to the school. I think it was well received. So thanks. Thanks to everyone who donated. And of course, you know, we continue to you know, look forward to those in-kind donations as well, because again, those are things that, you know, definitely goes directly to the school and for the benefit of the school. You know, so and the students definitely, you know, I'm sure they were very excited when we handed over the tablets, and
Yes.
and
Yes.
I'm sure it's something that comes in very handy as part of the curriculum down at the school. So thanks to everyone who donated.
Yes.
And also we also had a Christmas luncheon for the mentally challenged as well. So, you know, we're doing our things and we're still
You
looking.
said a luncheon for the mentally challenged at Rusea's?
No, we did it in the Bronx here, in the Bronx area.
Okay, in the Bronx. Okay, okay. Got you. Beautiful. You know, as we get ready to close, I just want to share with us some comments. Carlton Alexander, blessings, Mr. Malcolm and the Rusea's Brosis family. One love every time. Vernica Barrett, Beecham, big up Mr. D, my cuz, great interview. Thank you, V. Colin Stewart, yes, Greg, absolutely. You know, from my end, I see some names that pop up all the time. People just check in, you know, different people doing different things, different energy bringing in. And there are people who will fly from different parts of the country to come to different events and to do different things. I just want to thank all those who are investing in the Rusea's Brosis Foundation, and even those who are investing in other platforms that are supporting the Rusea's dream and Rusea's vision. It is for a good cause. I want to thank our partners from William Knibb, from Manning's, from what's the name of the radio station? What's the name of this?
I'm Sure Sports. I'm Sure Sports with Manning.
I'm Sure Sports radio station, from the Cornwall team, Cornwall's, you know, Old Student Association, from all the different schools, William Knibb, Manning's, Cornwall, that support the Rusea's vision, and any other school. We thank you. We encourage you to continue to support us, because we in turn will support what you're doing. And in that light, I want to highlight the fact that on this Saturday, May 28th, our second annual Blue and White affair will be the Grill and Chill in the Bronx, New York. And Greg is going to share with us the highlights again. That is for Rusea's Brosis, and then William Knibb will be doing their thing in Mount Vernon on Monday the 30th. They'll be having a barbecue, same fashion, to help William Knibb. You know, may we continue to build, to pour into our alma mater, to help so that the future generations can see that Rusea's has done big things, is doing big things, and will continue to do big things. Mr. President, I want to thank you for what you have already done. I want to thank you for what you're doing. And I want to thank all those, the board members and the different committee members, for the big things that are being done. We really appreciate it, and Rusea's is the better for it. Take it, Mr. Gregory.
I want to say something before you guys speak, because I didn't get a chance to acknowledge a few people last week, and I just want to
Mr. Malcolm, Mr. President.
Yeah.
I want you to feature. So once Mr. Gregory share this right here, I want you to come back on so you can give those, okay? So run it there.
Bring you the voice and know say Derby representing. I'm gonna make them know say Rusea's Brosis Foundation Inc. Promotion present its second annual Blue and White Grill and Chill. You don't know say Saturday, May 28th, place to be 3458 Baller Avenue, Bronx, New York, 10475. So look out now when I book out. I'm telling you don't know Derby will be there, so get there. See you then, Brosis. I'm telling you, Grill and Chill, Blue and White edition. Step out. Done it done. Put your heart up.
Greetings. This is the original flower gun. Want you to know that Rusea's Brosis Foundation present their annual Blue and White Grill and Chill on May 28th. That's a Saturday. So let's make it a date and don't delay. Flower gun endorse this one from 12 until we are chill. So you hear me? Forward now.
Yo, saw me, the young Jamaican trainer, Mr. Strength No Weakness himself. Yo, I'm here to tell you guys that the Brosis family presents their second annual Blue and White Grill and Chill. Let me let you know something. It will be so much fun and amazing event. Make sure you show up and show out. From the young Jamaican trainer himself. Listen, Saturday, May 28th, and it's 3458 Bulla Avenue, Bronx, New York. Me see you later. Strength No Weakness.
Yes, Aya. Yes. Energy.
Yeah.
But before we turn to Troy for closing, Mr. D, let me just also appeal to the broader public as well as to Ruseans everywhere. You know, I think the whole for a while there personally, you know, I got myself disconnected from the school and the support, and I tell you, it's a very rewarding feeling, sort of getting back into the mix and actually, you know, doing something for the upliftment of Ruseas. Listen, It doesn't have to be through Brosis. There are a bunch of other associations out there that I'm sure have the best of intent to support and uplift Ruseas. And, you know, whether it's Brosis, whether it's another association, whether it's individually, I just appeal for everyone to, if you can, you know, your time, funds, whatever, giving back, you know, I'm sure you'll feel very much rewarded by doing so. So I just wanted to throw that piece in.
Powerful. Agreed. 100%. 100%. You know, Mr. President, just before you give the final word, your wife, Mrs. Malcolm, says, great interview, amazing journey, proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay? And then we have Show Up and Short, Carlene Stewart, and the celebration, lots of celebration. Okay? There's excitement. There are individuals who are really vested in the success of the Brosis Foundation and the Brosis vision. Behind you, we have the design of the changing room and conference center. That is part of our vision, and it's our ultimate goal to build the Colin Miller complex. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to be built one block at a time. You know, as Mr. Gregory Malcolm said, whatever format you choose to pour into Ruseas, it is appreciated. The Ruseas Brosis Foundation, we are very open, we're very clear, we're very focused. This is our vision, this is our dream. We will build the Colin Miller complex, and it will be something that will support the larger Ruseas community. So, Mr. President, the last word is yours. I just want to thank everyone for tuning in and for your continued loyalty and support. Mr. President, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. D, for hosting this amazing program. And to my bro, Greg, as always, love you to the moon and back. Yes, just another note in regards to the Blue and White, this coming Friday, we have our 5-star chef flying in from Canada, Mr. Senran Steele. So we'll be having a meet and greet that Friday. So come over, come eat some steamed fish and okra and pumpkin, you know, some roast fish. Yeah, we have that on sale from the Friday night. So pass through, you know, bring your friends, bring a friend, tell a friend to tell a friend. it's only fitting that I also acknowledge Rusty's High School,
Yes.
Miss Anderson,
Yes.
former chairman at the time, Mr. Clark, because actually they were the one who give us the green light along with the school board prior to the current school board. They gave us the opportunity to represent Rusty's, the Rusty's Brother Sisters Foundation, and to represent Rusty's and to do great things down there. So I just want to acknowledge them and say thank you for letting us be a part of Rusty's and to continue the journey to develop and to make Rusty's a better place and more conducive learning environment down there for the students of Rusty's High School. I just want to get that out there. Also, another person that was played a very integral role while we were on our journey, and this person was driving the school bus from 1972, but is no longer with us. I'm hoping that Mrs. Stevens is listening, and that's no longer, the person I'm talking about is Donald Stevenson, Kitty Brown.
Kitty Brown.
Kitty Brown
Yes.
was one of us, it was part of us, and he was basically like a third coach there with us. So it's only fitting that I also mention Kitty Brown as well. And Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Miller, she's listening. Sometimes she logs in and listens to us. So she's not far away. And Andrew Miller, that's Mr. Colin Miller's son. He's also listening and tuning in all the time. Now, on a closing note, I just want to say a big thank you to all our supporters and the few sponsors that we have. It doesn't matter how small your donation is. The Brosis Foundation want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you. And
thank you.
We will continue to solicit funds just to ensure that this complex is start and complete. And to our members, stay focused, stay with us on the journey. The road might be rough, but the wine will be sweet.
I must ask you, do you have a estimated groundbreaking date target?
For the audience, we received the good news from Miss Anderson, I think it was November of last year, that we got the approval from the Ministry of Education to erect the sports or the changing facility down there at Rusty's High School.
Nice.
So as we speak, my architectural designer, Mr. Gladwin Brivet, is preparing the paperwork to submit to the parish council sometime this week. So we'll be having a meeting with the parish council this week. So put it out there to let the audience know how serious we are. We're action-packed team, so we're ready to go.
Love it.
So the moment we get that final phase out of the way, then we'll set the date for groundbreaking.
Excellent. Good news. That's good news. So again, all roads lead to the Bronx, New York, this weekend. As a matter of fact, I say that starting Friday evening, our big chef, St. Ryan Steele, flying in from Canada, all the way from Toronto, flying in just for Rusty's Brosis. You can't miss this, folks. You cannot miss this. There's the address, 3458 Bulla Avenue, right off Boston Road. Boston near Eastchester Road. You can't miss Boston near Bronxwood Avenue, sorry. Boston and Bronxwood. You can't miss it. Okay, right near the train track.
Mr. D, you know the Bronx. You know the Bronx.
Yeah, man. We sell out all of the Bronx, sir. You there? Starting Friday evening, 7 o'clock.
Yep.
For those who can make it. And I can testify, Mr. St. Ryan Steele, don't play in the kitchen. Make you bite off your finger. I'm telling you that. No plaything, real thing that. Okay?
Yes. So come out, man. Come out and support each and every one. Come out and support. Every mickle make a muckle. It doesn't matter how small the donation is. Remember, it's $1 for a building block. just $1. So just come and
Beautiful.
support, purchase a building block. You don't have to purchase 10,000 building block, just purchase one. You know?
But if you can purchase 10,000, do it still.
Yeah,
We'll take it.
we take $1 million too. But you know,
That's right.
yeah, so
And I just think it's fair. We have quite a number of people sending in last comments here. Carlin Stewart, show up and show out. Johnson Scarlett, good going, Mr. President. Sonia C, great interview. Blessings to the Brosis Foundation. Johnson Scarlett, oh, gonna miss that. Sonia C, I'm very proud of you, Troy. You have an amazing journey. There it is.
thanks to
Congratulations,
everyone
Mr. President. The best is yet to come. Keep
Yes.
on rocking, my brother.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Gregory Malcolm, as always, it is a pleasure. You know,
Pleasure is
earlier
all
on,
mine.
And
you were
thanks for all
dealing
the
with
comments, guys.
Asia. You're dealing with Asia. Today, this evening, Russie's Brosis.
That's
Love
right.
it.
That's right.
Love
Always,
it.
always.
One love, everyone, and good night, everyone. Get ready and show up. This weekend is going to be a blast. All in the name of Russie's. All right? Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
All right, good night.
Good night, everyone.
Out.